The Niners are now 3-point favorites, which to me is shocking. The Eagles are 10-1. The Eagles have beat the Chiefs. The Eagles have incredible wins. The Niners have beaten Dallas, who's beaten nobody. And they've beaten Jacksonville, which is, impressive. And the Steelers, which is great. I just thought everyone thought the Eagles were bad, and they're home. But the one thing that maybe people aren't putting enough weight into, or maybe I am putting too much weight into, is this extra 3 days. That's a big deal in football. It's not a normal matchup. Usually teams have the same amount of rest and time. Not just rest, but time to prepare. And for an excellent coaching staff like the Niners, Kyle Shanahan, and Chris Forster, and Steve Wilkes, I don't know, how much of an advantage is this? How much of a difference will this make?
Yeah, I think it's a huge advantage for multiple different reasons. One, the preparation. They literally got to prepare for them right after the Seattle game and then watch them play to confirm some of the things that they already thought. The Eagles now have played 2 very tough games in a row against very good quarterbacks in wet conditions, had to come from behind in both those, which takes a lot of energy. And one of those, the very last one, went to overtime. That's a big deal also. So the rest thing comes into factor, although now Eric Armstead's injured. So you would think, all right, well, they can rest their bodies. They'd be a little bit healthier. I do think overall the 49ers are getting pretty healthy. We'll see what's going on with Eric. But yeah, I think from a rest standpoint, it's a big deal. I think from a preparation standpoint, it's a big deal. And I do agree, it's not getting talked about enough. There's always little things that go into games. One of the other little things that I look at in this one is the 49ers travel really well, Grant. And a lot of times, like when they showed up to Jacksonville, it was more 49er fans than Jacksonville fans. It was like 52% 49er fans. Mm-hmm. Eagles fans hold down their whole home stadium very well. In fact, 20% of the fans in the stadium in the NFC Championship were 49er fans. That is not normal. They're used to taking stadiums over. This week, it's projected to be around 28%. Either way, this is essentially the first real, true, volatile road environment that the 49ers have faced all year long. So I think little things like that always factor in. How will the noise play as far as the offense and communicating? How does the rest play? How do injuries play? How does weather play? There's so many little things that you don't necessarily talk about when you break down a game, but they all mean something.
Okay. I'm going to focus on preparation here. I always nitpick Kyle and give Kyle advice because I'm an expert. I'm a Hall of Fame quality control coach, and he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. But he is he's a good coach. And you give him 3 extra days. Like, let's just break it down. In a lot of ways, football is coordinator versus coordinator, game plan versus game plan. You got Kyle Shanahan versus Sean Desai. And, Sean Desai might be good, but his defense ranks like 19th, and it's his second year being a coordinator ever. And the first time he was a coordinator, he got fired after 1 year. And he's going against Kyle, and Kyle has 3 extra days. That's an advantage for Kyle. Then you got Steve Wilkes, who's a darn good coordinator himself, with 3 extra days going against Brian Johnson, who might be great, but he's also in his first year as a coordinator. It feels like a big advantage for the 49ers, just in terms of preparation and game planning.
Yeah, most certainly. I think on the same amount of preparation, I would give the 49ers a major edge in the coaching. So now you give them 3 extra days. Yeah, I think this game plan should be bulletproof, and they should be able to pivot if things don't go their way. If they don't, that would be concerning, knowing that they had the extra time to prepare. So yeah, I think the preparation is a really big deal.
Yeah, I think this might be, if they didn't have 3 extra days to prepare, I doubt they'd be 3-point favorites. I don't know if it would be a pick'em game, but I think this is a big deal in my mind. And I'm picking the Eagles to win. But if the Niners win, I'm using this as an excuse right now. I'm telling you right now. Hey, they had extra time to prepare. And no, I didn't pick them to win the game, but I should have. And I almost did. And I thought about it.
Yeah. Hindsight, I should have picked them. Yeah.
Which kind of makes me right.
Ipso facto, I'm kind of your boss.
Yeah. It's Nick for real says over under we get a lead, then mess around the third. Mess around.
Oh, mess around.
Not against. They were mess around in the third because they were up 21. and the Seahawks are truly terrible, or I don't know, not good. I don't think the Niners are going to mess around. This is going to be
Samsonite.
I was talking to the coach today. He made a point that every time the Niners have had to play 60 minutes this year, they've lost. They're going to have to play 60 minutes in this game. They're going to be good in the fourth quarter. We'll see. Josh Bourne says,
on paper, I think that would be the case.
Most likely.
I do actually think that there's a path here that the 49ers can run away with this. I really do.
There's always a path. There's always a path. A yellow brick road of sorts. Joshua Bourne, worried about Brock in the rain, loves competitiveness. Did we already get that? Sorry. 808 Niner says it's check cashing season, and CMC got a lot of checks. He got a cash for a lot of guys this week. Cabo Crew better show up, and I think Debo will.
Yeah, Debo. Okay. Debo definitely has something to play for. He better play against the Eagles the way that he normally plays against the Rams. I think it's turned into one of those situations, and I expect him to come through. I do.